Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sissy Stitches. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. So it's been about a month since my last regular episode, so just wanted to catch up with you all. We took a little pre-Christmas trip to Las Vegas for a week, my husband and I, and just got away before all the busyness of Christmas set in, and it was really nice. We had some great weather. We went out to Death Valley and saw the sights. It's really pretty, and that was the best time of the year to visit. It was, in the upper 60s, so perfect weather, not hot or anything, and you could really get out and see things. It wasn't crowded, so we didn't have to deal with any of the crowd. So yeah, it was really a nice little getaway. And also during that time, I worked on my Sawtooth Star quilt along, which I need to finish that up, but I got the top made, got it as far as making all the blocks for the top and taking it to the long arm and getting it quilted. So now all I need to do is to make the binding and finish that. So there'll be another episode of that to come in the next week or two, I'm hoping. So anyway, I hope you all got to spend lots of fun time with your family and friends over the holidays, and the new year is good to you. So, okay, so what I've been working on, I finished my Mill Hill ornament. It is the Winter Holidays cuckoo clock, and this is my finished ornament. And I love the little beads on it. This was my first beaded ornament kit, and Elizabeth gave it to me when we went on our cross stitch retreat, and I started it there and finished it. And I just put some purple felt on the back because I have a big stash of that for some reason. One of my girls wanted a purple poodle skirt at one time, probably. But anyway, and I just added a little loopy braid to hang it on the tree. So that was my cross stitch finish over the last month. So that was a lot of fun. And then another finish for quilting is this sweet little baby quilt that I was working on in one of my last episodes. So I got this finished. I got it quilted. I don't know if you can see the pattern, the quilting pattern, but it's stars and loops. They're doing a Western theme for the baby's nursery. And then the back is just an all-over Western theme print. So yeah, I'm excited to have that finished. The baby shower is next weekend, so I got that finished just in time. So that's one of the quilts that I finished in the last month. The second one that I finished is a combination of, I don't know, it's kind of like a trip around the world quilt. So I kind of did that kind of piecing on the blocks, and I'll put up a picture of the whole quilt. But basically I did a Madeline quilt out of these K-Facet jelly roll strips, and I had, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 jelly roll strips left over. And then this was the backing fabric of that quilt. And I had, you know, a lot of leftover scraps of backing fabric. And the day my cleaners came and I forgot they were coming, I had to quickly hurry up and get out of their way. So I just came back here to my craft room. And I was looking around going, well, what am I going to do? I usually plan to have something to work on while they're here. And I looked down and saw these scraps and I was like, you know, that would probably make a fun quilt together. So I kind of made up my own pattern, just basically trying to stretch the fabric. So I added in some navy blue sashing, and then I got more sashing on the outside from the backing that I use. So this is a K-Facet wide back fabric that I bought at my local quilt store, Honeybee. And I bought enough to make sure that I could do sashing. So it ended up being about 48 inches wide by 78 inches long. And I'll put in a picture here of the full quilt finished. But yeah, so I made that, and my husband really liked it, so he ended up getting this for Christmas, and so it stays, you know, here. And then the quilting pattern, I took it to the Long Arm Quilter over the top quilting in Cedar Park, and they helped me pick out this really cool, I think it's called Saturn rings, and you can kind of see it on the navy. It shows up a little more, but I really liked that Saturn rings quilting pattern. So yeah, I used a red thread on the back, but you can't really see it because the back is just so busy, it's hard to see. Oh, and I did manage to quilt in my label. I don't know, it might show up backwards on screen, but I'm finally getting those put on. And then also, I don't have them with me anymore because they were Christmas gifts, but we draw names every year for Christmas within our family because there's so many of us. And I drew one of my daughters, and my son drew the other daughter, and together we made them each a patchwork chore quilted coat. So I'll insert pictures here of the coats, and Elizabeth started this off because she made one for herself and we all fell in love with it. And so I had to, you know, of course, follow her lead and make one for Sarah and one for Allison. And then on Christmas Day, Elizabeth surprised me with a quilted coat for myself. She drew my name. So you may have already seen it on her channel, but this is mine, and I just love it. It's got the patchwork pockets on it, and the nice, pretty white floral lining. Yeah, so we all went out the night after Christmas. We got a hotel, a little shopping area in town, and went out to dinner and did some after Christmas shopping, and it was a lot of fun just hanging out with the girls and having a little mini slumber party. So that is what I've been up to quilting wise and what I've finished. Now for cross stitch, I have continued working on this sampler, Pernice Manor by Teresa Kogut. Just wanted to make sure I had the right designer. So that's the pattern. And this was a kit that Elizabeth gifted to me at the retreat. And this is the progress I've made. I'm hoping, trying to look it through the linen, But yeah, so I've done a lot of work on the house. I got some more done across the bottom edge, but I've got the very bottom border started and the very top. So now I know exactly how tall it's going to be, and so I just need to finish more of it. But you know, it's slow going, and I had a lot of sewing time that interrupted my stitching time, but I'll get back to it now that Christmas is over and I don't have any more sewing deadlines. But yeah, this is coming along, and this was the only project I brought with me when we went to Las Vegas, and our hotel had a nice balcony, so I was able to sit outside and watch the airplanes come and go, and stitch on my cross stitch. So that was a lot of fun to just sit out there and relax. Because isn't that what retirement's for, relaxing? I don't know. Anyway, so that's the only cross stitch that I'm working on right now. And let's see. This is the only quilting project I have in progress, and it is the Sawtooth Star quilt that I've been working on. And for this one, I did buy a fuzzy, fleecy kind of blanket. It's a Pendleton blanket. Costco had these before Christmas, so I bought one. I didn't realize it was going to be such a tight fit because my quilt top was 48 inches wide and the blanket was only 50 inches. So me and the lady at the quilt shop managed to make it work pretty well, but I need to do a better job of measuring. But I really like the quilting pattern. I've used this one before. It's called Chantilly. It's a real sweet, kind of vintagey looking pattern. So there's that, and of course I still need to bind the edges so I can quit getting the white fuzz everywhere. But yeah, so this one will be a very warm quilt once it's done. And let's see. I also, when I ordered fabric for the quilted coats, accidentally slipped a few other things into my shopping basket because they were such good deals. So one of my favorite designers that I like to collect her fabric is Anna Maria Horner. So they had 2-yard cuts of her fabrics on sale at Missouri Star Quilt. So I got these 2 different prints, and I got this. Not sure what I'm going to do with these yet, but I really liked them and wanted to add some more to my stash. And then I got these as well. So I don't know, maybe bags, maybe quilted coat. My daughter, who lives in Dubai, now wants one, so I'll probably let her pick from the fabrics and see which one. I'll bet she'll probably go for the pink because she's a pink and purple kind of girl. But we'll see. We'll figure that out. But yeah. And then, like I said, all the other crafty haul that I had was used up in the making of the other 2 patchwork short quilts. And I'll link those, put in pictures of those in the video. And that's about what I've been up to. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the next quilt along, which will be the double wedding ring. So I have 3 of those that I want to make for my 3 friends who I made quilts for them when we all turned 50, and now I want to make quilts for them again for our next milestone birthday. And so if you would like to participate in that quilt along, there's a couple of things that you might want to look at doing. First of all, you want to get your double wedding ring templates. So you can purchase acrylic templates, which is what I use. I find for me, it makes it easier to cut and get the pieces more accurate. You can also go online and get a free printable template that you can print at home and then just tape together and do that as well. And I did that my first time before, like when I was doing some tester blocks. I believe I want to say it's a McCall's pattern, but I have a link that I'll insert in the description box below. But you can print that out. It's I think it's one that you have to, it's only a 1/4 of the centerpiece, but take a look at it and see, and then you can either fold your fabric twice and cut it on the fold, or you can print it 4 times and tape it together to have the full template. The next thing that you'll need once you get your templates is your fabric. So I will be making a 3 block by 4 block quilt, and I'm going to use 12 fat quarters for one of the quilts, and for the second quilt it's going to be made out of yardage. So I have 6 different fabrics of some K-facet yardage that I'll be using. And I don't know about the third one yet. It'll probably be made with a fat quarter, because with a fat quarter, the method that I'm going to use in the quilt along is piecing 4 blocks together, 4 squares together, and then cutting your center piece, and then with the leftovers on each side, sewing those together and making out the center of the melon. So I showed that I think I showed my double wedding ring quilt in a previous video that I made out of some Anna Maria Horner fabrics. But I know that if I have to piece all of the arcs together into, with 10 or 12 little pieces of fabric, that it's a project that I will never finish. I know myself, and I know that I did that on one quilt for my daughter, and I'm just, that's just, I'm done with that. So I do the solid pieces for the arcs. Piecing together the centers and the center melon is about as much as I want to do right now. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, you'll still be able, if you want to piece your arcs with a bunch of tiny pieces, that's great, however you want to do it. But I forget who it was. I think maybe it was Victoria Finley Wolf where I got the inspiration. She did a double wedding ring quilt with neutrals in the centers and then the center of her melons, and then she did pieced arcs for her double wedding ring, but she used 2 different neutrals for the center block. And I like to do the prints in the center to showcase those, and then do a neutral for the arc. So that's what I'll be doing in mine. So anyway, that will be, I may get it started before we leave for our vacation in a couple of weeks, and I may not. I don't know. We'll see how far I get. But anyway, that's what's coming up next. So if you want to participate in that, that's what you need to get going. And of course, if you want to make a bigger quilt, then, you know, just add to your fabric. Now, my rings finish at about 24 inches in diameter. So I have the biggest acrylic template set, and I bought mine at Flynn Quilting. I know I have their website. I'll add a link to it in the description box below in case you want to see. I don't remember exactly. I know it was less than $30 for the template, but I've already used them on 3 different quilts, so I've gotten my money's worth out of them. So anyway, it makes it easier for me. But again, like I said, if you don't want to make the investment in the acrylic templates, you can find an online printable paper template that you can use for the for all the pieces, and then you just have to cut some squares for your medallions. So anyway, my quilt along will be based on the template set from Flynn Quilting, which I think they're all fairly similar. I've seen some that are slightly different at the points, but anyway, I don't know that it's enough to make it that different. But anyway, look for that coming up maybe in the next week. If not, it won't be until March, because we're going to go visit my daughter and her family in Dubai for a month. So anyway, I'll see what I can get done before we go, and if not, then we'll just pick up when I get back. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and Happy New Year. Bye.